Hey everyone, Stoner Couponer here. I'm actually doing a raw episode. This is Stoner Couponer Raw. I'm not doing all the fancy schmancy fucking logos and shit in the front. It's because I just kind of doing this on a whim. This is strictly, just my opinion on a couple, well, not just my opinion. There's going to be a couple of stats, I guess, I'll spit out. I'm not one to normally do stats. I know people like to ask you to cite your sources and this and that. For me, the issue that I want to talk about, well, it's not even an issue, really. It's just something that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are mentioning, and it's really pissing me off the more and more I see it on YouTube. The more and more I see it, and people taking a stance at this thing that we're going to talk about actually exists. Let me actually adjust this. My bong is like in the back, my plants. So, what I want to talk about is white privilege. Or should I say, the bullshit that people are portraying as white privilege in today 2016's society, and actually more like 2015's, because all of the stats that you get on it are all from last year. We're in January, yo. So, a couple of things that are irritating me about people with, this stance on white privilege and so on and so forth. Okay, cool. When you look at the history of what we've gone through as a society, what we've gone through as a nation, what we've gone through as a people, and segregation and racism and all of the divisions that we have gone through in the past. Yes, there were times in our history where you could consider white privilege. You could definitely say that there was white privilege back in Martin Luther King's day. You can definitely say there was white privilege back in Abraham Lincoln's day. Right now, I do not and will not say there was white privilege in Obama's day. The fact of the matter is, and this is another reason why I'm not just going to take a stance as a Latin woman, a minority, to say, that white privilege has never been. Because there were definitely times in our history where, yes, white privilege was apparent. It was alive and well. It was full-fledged, and we all knew it. But right now, today, which is January 20th, 2016, I do not feel there is white privilege. My husband is of English, Irish, and German descent. My husband was homeless from the age of 13 to 19 on his own. Now, most people that hear, you're homeless, that means it's your fault. He was 13. On and off, on his own, from 13 to 19. Not a motherfucker in the world gave a shit about him. Not a single fucking person. His friends would not even let him sleep on their snow-covered balconies. When he asked, they would tell him no. He had to fucking steal beef sticks to eat. But he still made sure he was going to school, or at least enrolled and attended as much as he possibly could. He survived. He ended up, getting old enough, getting jobs, working minimum wage jobs, trying to make it. There was no fucking white privilege for him. There was no such thing. And there is no such thing for him. The fact of the matter is that I sit here as a 33-year-old Latin mother of 3 who is married to a Anglo, Caucasian, cracker, whatever you want to call him, man. And comparatively, just between us two, I have been able to excel and have had more opportunities in life than he has. I have been able to accomplish and go to school and receive 2 degrees. I have an associate's in computer networking systems, and I have a bachelor's in information security systems. I was able to do that without having to worry about so much debt. because there are grants, scholarships, tons of opportunities, not only for me as a Latina, but as a woman. So I have multiple opportunities to get funding for my education, which he does not. And now that he is actually in school, at the age of 35, he is in college now. He's accumulating debt because his opportunities for funding have to be based on academia, and he doesn't get any additional opportunities when it comes to race or gender. There is no white privilege there. My husband lived under construction material. He kept himself warm with stolen insulation from a construction site. As I, a Latina, was warm in a bed under a roof with the family with two parents who made $120,000 a year. That's where I stand with white privilege, and the thought that my son, who is white obviously, he's got blonde hair, he's got brown eyes, but he is white. My son may be criticized as having white privilege, when in fact he doesn't. Everybody's pulling out these bullshit fucking statements that white privilege is, police brutality. Well, white privilege, no. We don't have white privilege. White privilege has died. And what we have is classism. We have classism to the core. Wealth brings privilege. Wealth brings opportunity. And we don't have a race privilege, you guys. Look at the stats. Here's my stats that I said I was going to pull out. Going basis off of FBI.gov. And these are all totals from 2014. Breaking down arrests committed by race. And now, the percentages were not actually on this site. My husband did the percentages mathematically himself. He is a history major, so he tries to study as much as he can on everything, the history of stuff. And so he gave me this before he went to school today. Starting off, out of the total number of arrests, which were 8,730,665 arrests, 1,234,324 were Hispanic. 2,427,683 were black. From the 8,730,665 arrests for 2014, whites were 5,306,801 of those arrests. Whites were 60.78% of the total arrests for 2014, according to FBI.gov. Percentage-wise, Hispanics were 14.13% of that total 8,730,665 arrests. Hispanics were 14.13%. African American, black were 27.8%. And whites, high five, you white people like to get handcuffed. But white, non-Latino, non-Latin, no Latin descent, because we are classified now as Caucasian. I know this is strictly non-Latin. Whites made 60%, and it's actually rounding up 61% of the fucking total arrest of 2014. Where is that proof of white privilege? Where is that proof of yes, there is a harsh epidemic. I'm not going to fucking deny that. There is a harsh epidemic going on right now where we are able to see in our media that police are brutalizing other humans and taking advantage of other humans. And I know it's being depicted as a race issue, and it possibly is. I'm not going to deny that either. It all depends on the situation, but I do feel that it is a situational issue. Not all cops are bad. Not all cops are racist. I've seen both ends. I've seen media portraying black cops being fucking racist towards white people. And I see it in the media, and I see it on YouTube, and I see it on Facebook, and I see it on social media. And I'm not going to deny that there are circumstances where that is the driving force for some of these fucking cops. And in those cases, those cops, those individuals are racist. Those individuals shouldn't have been cops, and they should be fucking prosecuted to the fullest fucking extent. But when it comes down to it, there are situations where cops are trained and are supposed to take necessary forces in order to protect the community as well as themselves and the fucking perpetrator. So there are situations where a cop does use his gun to do just that. And he follows protocol and he follows procedure, and it's strictly that. And it's twisted in the media to be turned into a race thing because the cop just so happened to be white and the guy who fucking broke the law happened to be black. I do believe, or Hispanic. I've seen white cops do the same shit to a white dude. Dude, the fact of the matter is that everything is situational. And you can't stand for breaking stereotypes and for breaking racism by using racial fucking tactics. That's just not the way it is. By blanketing all cops and saying all cops are bad. By blanketing all, white people and saying they have white privilege. Like, look at the actual society that we live in. I don't know. It all depends on demographic, and here we go again with situational fucking circumstances. The fact of the matter is that white privilege is no longer really a privilege to be white. It is no longer a privilege. And in all honesty, as a Latina, as somebody who is in contact with a Caucasian every fucking day for the past 8 years, I would never trade places with him. I would never want to. After listening to, the abuse that he went through in the beginning of his life, to, the foster system that he was in initially, the fucking traumatic shit he's been through. And even being faced with people who you assumed were family, friends, whatever, because you created your own family because you didn't have one around. Those people that you put all that loyalty and faith into wouldn't even let you sleep on their fucking balcony. I would not. I couldn't. I know that I couldn't survive that. So there's no way that I would ever want to trade places with my husband as far as our past. He is not privileged to be white. That's not, white privilege in general, to me, now in our society, is no longer really a privilege. Minorities have been scrutinized for years. We have taken the brunt of a lot of bullshit. But we've also had a lot of good fucking people in our cultures, in our races, that have stood and fought to get us to where we're at now. To where we are integrated. Where we are living amongst each other, and fucking color is not really a big prevalent thing to most of us. If you actually look at society, and I mean where you live, your neighbors, your friends, everything is integrated. Your workplace. And yes, affirmative action, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay? We do have certain measures that are in fucking, law, in processes, in order to force integration, in order to assist with integration and for equality. Okay? There are things that have been put into place, and that the times that those were actually created and put into place was because it was a necessity then. People were still segregating even though the law allowed integration. So they had to make it more equal for minorities. And yes, there are certain businesses that in order to meet their quota, they will hire, a minority over a white person in order to fulfill that law. But that's because of obligations. That's because in some ways they're forced. And yes, I totally understand when companies say, well, we're forced to do this. Because they are forced to do it. It's law. So it's not like they're lying. You can't shun them for being fucking honest and saying, hey, we're forced to hire black people. Hey, we're forced to hire Mexicans. Hey, we're forced to hire this. It's not their fault that at the time of that law being passed, we still had a lot of fucking ignorant motherfuckers out there that weren't hiring, even though integration was allowed. Okay? But like I said, we don't live in those times. We cannot allow ourselves to continuously digress as a society by causing those divisions. Those divisions are caused by us and what we allow to be influenced by. I am Puerto Rican, Mexican, Dominican, and Irish. We're pretty much an eclectic family in the sense that we were not just rooted in the Latin culture. So we got to see a lot of diversity, not to mention we were also exposed to a lot of different elements because my mom was a residential counselor for abused and neglected kids, and it was an actual home that she worked in that took in kids from different backgrounds. That's another reason why I feel like I'm a little more open-minded when it comes to, looking at the divisions in our society and how much we feed into it. And I see this nonstop. Feminism. Third wave feminism is another thing that I've talked about a few times that I don't agree with, I will not stand for, I will not stand with. Anything that is causing a division, which to me, third wave feminism is painting out a division between men and women. And, trying to make it seem like it's supposed to be for equality when they do forcefully and purposefully perpetrate men. They paint them out to be rapists. They paint them out to be, this bullshit, image that they want everybody to see because women are still oppressed. And we're not. So white privilege and feminism, third wave feminism, are two elements in today's society that I do not feel like we even have a need for. We don't have a need for stating there's white privilege. Just because you as an individual feel oppressed by a white man or a white woman or the white race doesn't mean that the rest of us feel that way. Doesn't mean that the rest of us should believe that there is still a need for white privilege, a need for pointing out this injustice in society. They're just as much, they can sit and make a video just as much as any of you can and say, you know what, you're a racist. Yes, you can be racist against white people because Caucasian, Anglo, English, Irish, Scottish, they're white. They're a race. They're Caucasian. They check a box under race too. They are a race. It's not a lack thereof. Okay? They are a race. So therefore, we can be racist to white people. And so therefore, they too could create a video saying how blacks and minorities and Hispanics and Mexicans and Asians and fucking Samoans and all other minorities are racist to them. Because we're still causing these divisions and we're bringing up new divisions. Not only do we need to be divided by black, white, Mexican, Hispanic, Dominican, whatever, we also need to be divided by gender. That's what society is seeing because that is what's being painted on all of these fucking videos. There is no more white privilege. Instead of being another fucking animal in a cage and showing them that they're winning by causing more divisions, we should all agree to fucking unite on issues that affect all of us. Issues that affect everybody. And drop all the fucking division bullshit. I know there's a lot of people out there that are racist. There are a lot of people out there that are like, I want nothing to do with them. I want nothing to do with them fucking wetbacks. I want nothing to do with them niggers. I know there's fucking people out there like that. And it's not just white people. I've met a few fucking Hispanic and black people that are actually racist to their own people. They're very critical to their own fucking people. And the fact of the matter is that if we can just drop all of it, drop it all, dude, just fucking give it up. We're gonna have a spare fucking few that are just gonna be set in their ways. They're mostly located in Kentucky, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Alabama, more like it. No, if we could just drop all the bullshit and focus on shit like child abduction, child rape, child molestation, elderly abuse, homelessness, poverty, killing our people with pharmaceuticals. Let's fucking drop the pharmaceuticals and legalize weed. Issues that affect all of us, because when it comes down to it, you guys, I think we've kind of lost sight that we're all fucking the same. When it comes right down to it, anybody watching this is no better nor less than I am. I just happen to say it on a fucking camera. Just like I, as a mother, teach my kids to respect people, to follow rules, to obey, because they're my kids. And I also teach them to look past everything else. For the simple fact, if anybody knows me, my oldest daughter is actually Creole. So she's black. My two younger ones are part me and part their dad, so they're half white and half Hispanic. We're a melting pot. I'm Hispanic, my husband's white, my daughter's black, my two kids are mixed. I mean, my daughter's mixed too, but I mean, it's a melting pot in my house. So, we teach them to look past this, because this isn't shit. This makes nobody any better or any less. There is no privilege for this either. This is simply skin. It's purely epidermis. That's it. And where you succeed in life is how much work you put into it. There are people that work their whole fucking lives, never wanting to move up, because they're good at being, that middle position. They found what works for them. That doesn't mean that because they decide to stay at that position by choice, you can manipulate that fucking stat and say, oh, well, because he's a Latin, he's below, the whites. No, dude, that's not how it works. Every single thing is individual, every single thing, and it has to be now. It has to be now because we are integrated, and we have been for at least my whole fucking life. I'm 33. It all goes into circumstances, and the only real issues that affect us that we should be working on together, we're not. We're working on race. We're working on these bullshit fucking white privilege, which is not fucking factual. There is no more fucking white privilege, yo. Stop making divisions. Yes, I am one that says all lives matter, but it's not because I'm trying to deflect from Black Lives Matter, dude. My daughter's fucking African American. She's Creole. She's part French, she's part African American, she's part fucking Mexican, or Hispanic, should I say, because I'm not just Mexican. Of course her life matters. Her life matters more than mine. And that's the way it is for me in my world because I'm her mother. But her life doesn't matter more than her sister's. Her life doesn't matter more than her brother's. And her life doesn't matter more than any other kid's life out there. At least to the world, it shouldn't. They should all be valued. They should all be worth something. Worth more than ours. We've lived life already. Let them live theirs. It's not about black lives. It's not about Mexican lives. It's not about white lives. It's about all of our lives. And we should be standing together to help our people, you guys. Yes, I'm getting emotional and it fucking sucks. because I'm not really an emotional person. But we need to bring back the human touch. We need to bring back the fact that we give a shit about our fellow man, no matter whether we like them or not. Donald Trump, I can't stand your fucking ass. Can't stand watching your gimmick on the goddamn TV. And I know it's working because you're supposedly high in the polls. When it comes down to it, I really hope that America sees that it's all a publicity stunt. And when he gets in office, he might fuck our whole country up, you guys. So, can't stand him. But his life is not less valuable because I can't stand him. I know, it sounds really shitty, right? Everybody's gonna fucking be like, no, fuck Donald Trump, fuck that. The truth is, you guys, the way that I see it, I'm a humanist. I'm an atheist, but I'm a humanist in the sense that I feel like all lives matter. All lives should be valuable, and it shouldn't be a matter of race. It shouldn't matter whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're brown. The only thing that should ever matter is that we take care of our people, which is everyone. We help each other. We unify, we stand, and we grow. Or we can continue to, cause divisions in our society and fall on our fucking faces. We're digressing, you guys. We're not progressing. If we continue to cause divisions in our society, we will definitely go back to where we were before. That's all I got to say, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you agree, comment below. If you don't, comment below. Leave whatever you want. I'm not going to delete the comments. They're going to be there for everybody to see. I'm not one of those sissified bitches. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, you guys, one love. Peace.